Mikey. How's it going?
Yo, that was awesome. That was
Mhm.
awesome. I like that. I like that a lot.
So here's the downside to this. I can see the chat there, but we can't see the chat here.
Yeah, I can't
So
see the
I can
chat
see
at
it.
all.
I can see it on the actual live. So I'll just keep it up on my side and then I'll be able to read it back to you.
Okay.
So if we,
Yeah, so
if
we still can't uh
no, we
buy
still
like
can't
we
see
can't.
it here. So that's
Yeah.
going to be our next thing. But at least we have a chat, so I can see it over
Mhm.
here. Everyone's talking to Mr. Brian F-150. I'm not.
Oh, nice. F-150, not F-250. He's been
No,
demoted.
I'm demoting him just because everyone's talking to him in the chat. I'm going to demote him. Um. Anyways, how is this lovely Tuesday for you?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. I just
Mhm.
had myself some barbecue. I had some hot dogs and hamburgers and some corn on the cob that was on the grill. So,
Yeah, nice. Oh, I see Cajun is around, it looks like. So anyways, I was talking to you earlier about our useless information. And so,
right.
as a segue into our topic today about Mr. Biden. Hello, Snacks. I see you. Rick, I see them. I can see them over here. Um, I'm thinking that in 2021, one of the most searched things on the internet for porn was fluffy men with small penises.
Oh, wait, so are we saying that's top or one of
It was
the
one
top?
of the tops, like at the
Okay.
top. I think it was like number
Okay.
two, but
Are we talking? Oh, so we're talking top three. It's
yeah.
a
So
top
then,
three
like,
contender. Oh my god.
yeah, because then there was like other useless information. So like things like white women getting the Queen of Spades tattooed so that black men would know they only dated black men. The promotion of the swinger life, and then men, um, watching men get banged by other men.
Sheesh.
So now that we've talked about that, and with that being said, we
Just a
can.
society full of cucks.
I mean, that's. I guess apparently that's what people are into. I mean, I don't know nothing about that, but that's what people are
Oh
into.
Lord.
So I just wanted to point that out. So now we can move on to deeper topics.
Oh man. All right. Well, yeah, great segue because today we will be covering not only Hunter Biden and the current investigation going into him, but we will also be covering James Biden a little bit and how it ultimately leads back to the quote unquote big guy that is in the Oval Office right now. Um, so a lot of people when they hear Hunter Biden, there's multiple things that come to mind. First, they think of the laptop. First, they think of possibly Ashley Biden's diary, things of that nature. But a lot of people aren't focusing in on these business transactions or deals that Hunter Biden has had with foreign influences, right? A lot of
Okay.
people are constantly jumping to which I don't disagree with because it needs to be addressed, the crimes against children and all of those things. But what we know from dealing with organized crime is the easiest way and the most and usually the most logical way to nab people is through their money trails because paper trails aren't erasable. Like you can't get rid of a paper trail. If it's on paper, it's somewhere documented.
Correct.
So
Correct.
so not only is Hunter Biden implicated in Ukraine immensely, right? Not only with Zelensky, but also with the very same biolabs that were found in Ukraine and funding them through a company called MetaBio, I believe is what it's called,
Okay.
MetaBio, which or Biometa, one of the two, and so
Hard to.
that's the company that he's a part of, as well as Pelosi's son, John Kerry's son, and I believe Chelsea Clinton. I could be mistaken with her, but and then also Hunter is also implicated in China. China.
China, China, China,
Is
China.
directly implicated with China, and he is on audio from a leaked phone call, openly saying that he was working with the, and I quote from him, the spy chief of China that is worth $432 billion in net worth.
Really,
And the man
really,
he's referring to
really.
is called Patrick Ho.
Patrick Ho. Since not to segue off, but since we're talking about Mr. Biden, currently right now with the Ukraine situation, we're giving them all of our new stuff as opposed to selling them our remanufactured, for our National Guard, the old stuff at top dollar.
Right.
It's quite amazing the logic of how that works. Like, why are we giving them anything new when we could just sell them what I guess used at top dollar to benefit us?
Right.
There is no benefit to this, but who am I? I'm not the president.
I mean, no, there's not a benefit to you and me, but there's a real benefit for those warmongering generals and politicians that own stock in defense contractors like Raytheon and things of that sort. Oh, there's a big benefit in
Well, and not only
sending.
that, but they are currently stopping like private sales. The government's controlling it. We're controlling it. We're not allowing people privately to sell either. So,
Yep.
we always say follow the money. Well, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but continue. I'm sorry.
No. That's perfect. I mean, following the money, I think, is probably one of the biggest things that will be.
The dog just took it down. Keep going. I'm listening.
Oh, I thought that was great. No,
Yeah.
I think following the money is the biggest thing that will lead to us finally being able to nab a lot of these corrupt politicians and warmongering generals that are a part of the military industrial complex. Because, like I said, anytime we've seen historically where we've had organized crime and we are trying to nab the person at the top that is responsible for said crime, it is 9 times out of 10 by through money trails and paper trails that they are finally able to be caught up because criminals slip up. That's a natural thing. Criminals slip up. They become complacent, they become lazy, they think that they're too smart to get caught. Whatever the case may be, they will slip up. And if we are paying attention to the money trails, to the paper trails, when that slip up happens, it's that much faster for us to be able to be like, we got you. We know what you're doing. We know what you've been doing. This is how we can prove it. And this is what needs to be done for in the future so that it cannot happen again. Um, but yeah, when it comes to the whole Hunter Biden investigation, we're seeing a weird trend that's starting to happen in the Hunter Biden investigation, with more entities that are not just tied to financial investigations are becoming tied to the case. You have people from DOJ branches or intelligence agencies that are attaching themselves to this case or this investigation. And what that shows is that this is now becoming more of a broader scope investigation rather than just into tax fraud or something of those lines, right? Another thing that's interesting too that we're seeing is not only is Hunter Biden's bank records being subpoenaed or being requested by those that are leading the investigation, but we also have James Biden's bank records are
Oh,
now being investigated as well.
interesting.
And James Biden is kind of the little kept known secret of the Biden family because a lot of people don't talk about him. And James Biden is very much implicated in the same crimes that Hunter is, with using their positions or their close vicinity to a vice president to have political dealings or foreign influence dealings behind the scenes that are meant to benefit them and their family, not the country as a whole.
Okay.
James Biden is also uh, notoriously known, I would say, for those that are, very deep into the Epstein case and the situation with Jeffrey Epstein. He's very notorious for being one that had an island that was located, I believe, 10 miles from Epstein's island, right? So very, very close vicinity. Um, so I find it really interesting that we start to see a trend where now there's an investigation going into him as well. It's not just based on Hunter anymore. And I think it also starts to spin this web of inter-family corruption that will ultimately lead to the top.
Top to, you mean the president?
As in, yes, as in in the executive branch, the top person that was the one that was, I guess you could say, the shot caller of
Okay.
the family.
Yeah, I just see in the comments, Mr. Brian F250 just said that Biden is the illegal arms dealer now.
Right, right, right.
you know?
Yeah, I mean it's really how it is. I mean we see, especially nowadays, more than ever before, we are seeing our government and our politicians moving in such a mafia-esque way that it's crazy. It's absolutely, they're voting on bills at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They're hiding things from us. They don't want us asking about corruption. And then if you do, you're intimidated by the DOJ and meant to, to be made to just sit in your place. It's
Correct.
it's really crazy. I
Well,
mean,
and I
it's
think
it's
ultimately that's been an ongoing thing. So it's been something that's building, and
right,
I think COVID was the start of it. And so it was just kind of like to get us all isolated, secluded, not really engaging people, and then start feeding you the propaganda to start to break down your thought process and your ability to say, wait a minute, what's going on? This isn't working. People, I mean, if you think about it, it's been a while since we've asked questions. Things just kind of happen and we just say, oh, we accept it. It wasn't until now, I think, that people are kind of starting to question what is really, really, really going on.
right. No, yeah, and I think that that is the biggest thing that's being reflected in our society right now. Um, Sorry, I had somebody in my chat sending death threats. Gotta love it. Um, but anyways, anyways, no, it is something that we do see very common nowadays that people are starting to realize. They have to question more than what we are being told. They have to. Whether it's right, left, center, up, down, it doesn't matter because we're being lied to on all fronts. On all fronts, whether it be through our media, whether it be through our politicians with how they're pandering to us or posturing. Now it is more detrimental than ever to question everything and to do our due diligence as adults that truly care about this country and to do the research to find the real objective truth to the matters. We can no longer outsource to other, or to trust what we're being told.
But herein lies the problem, getting to the truth.
Right. Right.
So
Well,
when
that
everything
gets
is
into
controlled by someone
right.
else, how are
Right.
you literally going to get to the truth?
Right. That's where we have the issue on domestic, right? When we look at domestic resources that we have for information, it's a no go. It's a complete no go at that front, right? But if you look at some other foreign entities with how they report on our country, that is a good objective lens to have. I'm not saying all
Okay.
because media complexes of all different countries are going to have some kind of a biases issue or funding going into it, but it will at least give you a little bit more of a outside looking in, talking about it, perspective.
Right.
Another thing that people can
Okay.
do is when we're talking about legislation or investigations, we have the resources that are objective to be able to go through those. You can use .gov websites to view legislation in its whole, unedited. And two, you have things like Pacer or court dockets that allow you to be able to look at criminal investigations and
Yes.
be able to see as much information as preview at that point as well.
Right.
So those, I would say, it's just like I said, it's no longer relying on outsourcing.
And
For
let's
two
break that
years,
down a little, though. Let's break that down a little bit.
yeah,
So, honestly, very few people are connected to even know what they're looking for, right? So, when you say, oh, you can search here or you can search there, it's like, well, what are we searching? What are we looking for? I mean, there's if you look around us right now, even in all these states, the types of things people are passing and the types of things that people are allowing to happen is insane.
right,
I mean,
right,
utterly insane.
yeah,
So, I mean, for me personally, I kind of feel like if someone came to me and said, "Oh, well, where do you look or what am I looking for?" We need to be more connected as the people. So we need to know what we're looking for. We need to know what we're searching for. We need to know that, hey, you need to look here or you need to look there for this. I mean, you can take your kid out now if it's less than
right. No, yeah.
28
I
days.
think I think that goes into a good conversation that I was having with Logic and Liberty today. Was now more than ever, people need to become involved in the political sphere. I know that it's considered to be, it might be boring to the younger generations, like people that are around my age of like early 20s. Everybody just wants to focus on their own lives and things of that nature. But what people don't understand is that now we're at a point in time where we have to become involved. If we don't become involved, we're going to have exactly what we've already had happen to a broader scale. Because why we're at and we're in the position that we're in now is that people in the past generations became willfully complacent and trustworthy blindly on their quote unquote resources that were easily available. They took that at face value as they are telling me the truth. I know what's going on. There's no further investigation needed or research needed. And that is the direct catalyst to what has led us to this point right now. So, whether you consider it to be boring, and I'm speaking to the audience, obviously not Keisha, because her and I are very much politically involved, but whether y'all think it's boring or not, it is so detrimental to start paying attention to local elections, start paying attention to county commissioners, to your school boards, all of these things, because that we are the final line of defense for ourselves. That's just plain and simple. When we're being shown that we can't trust who we have in the positions of power that we have them in, or we can't trust the authoritative information, figures that we look to, then we are the final line in that sand that says, okay, we're going to make sure that this is where it's at. This is where we are going to stand firm and say we're not going to allow ourselves to be lied to, deceived, or have the wool pulled over our eyes.
Yeah, but I also think that plays into part of like getting rid of career politicians, right? So like, they just
Yes.
announced that they're not going to allow any outside political interference in this investigation into Hunter Biden. Like they're going to allow it to happen. But even with that being said, will it really happen? Will he really be investigated? I mean,
I
his
mean,
father
from
is a sitting president. Will that really truly happen? I mean, it sounds good, right? So you make the announcement. You say, yeah, we're going to
right,
allow this investigation to go forward. We're not going to interfere. We're not going to allow anyone to interfere. But I mean, with all even the Weinstein situation, we still don't have the black book.
right, yeah, with Epstein, yeah,
Yeah,
no, yeah,
yes, sorry,
100%.
Epstein. Yes, right. We still don't have
No,
the
I
book.
mean,
So
I mean, both Steens are pieces of shit. So I mean, you weren't too far off.
this is
but
a true statement, but yes, but I'm just saying though, like when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, right? It's like a lot of things have unfolded, but yet we really don't have any of the background information. We still don't have the names. We still don't know who was really on there. They've released what they wanted you to know, right? What they
right,
felt would benefit them. So when someone says, yeah, we're going to investigate Hunter, we're going to make sure that we really look into this thoroughly. Are we? I mean, we're trusting the people who have lied to us all along to investigate.
Right.
It's not us investigating. It's not like they, are handing it off to a private entity and saying, "Hey, look into this for me." It's literally them.
Right. That's the biggest, that is a big worry that we have on the table right now. I think that hope if we see the way that things are going with the Durham investigation, right? If we look at the Durham investigation, we can clearly see that there are good actors behind the scenes that are trying to, truly rein in this corruption and this behemoth of organized crime. Yeah, I see that. You got a little
Yeah,
you
little
got you
gnat.
got one of
Yeah, did
those,
you see that?
the cameo fly bots that they did.
Yeah, it was a gnat, and I'm all like, "Where did that just come from?" Wait, did you see how good the camera picked that up?
No, yeah.
It's like, I see it on the screen, and I'm all like, "Wow!" I mean, hello.
But yeah, it seems that with the Durham report, there are people that are trying to do objective investigations into people that are tied to our government. The issue is, are we going to see that trickle down to the Biden investigation? I can't. It's too early to be able to make an assertion towards that because we don't see anything that reflects that. So I can't make that kind of an assertion, but I do think that there are very good odds. I mean, we have a RICO case going
Right.
on with some of the most influential beings that we have in the political sphere.
But even like
And
that, we're not even hearing about it.
right. Well, so
No
that's
one's
because the
talking about
case,
it.
right. The case doesn't start until I believe a couple weeks. It's like mid May is when the hearings actually start.
Okay.
And I do think that when it starts, we're going to hear a lot because there's going to be a lot that they can't keep back. Whether we're hearing that through mainstream at first or not, there's going to be an influx of information that is going to come out. And like I said, whether it's on mainstream or not, I can't say. But if it's not on the mainstream, what we've been seeing is a running trend of mainstream media being forced to report on things that they would never want to touch on prior, right? In years prior, they wouldn't want to touch on some of the things that they've had to report on because it's in the public sphere. It's what's being talked about. So they're forcing their hand to where they have to cover it. And
Well,
I
guess
see
what
that.
though?
What's
We
up?
get to talk about it.
Right. No, yeah, we can talk exactly. And that's what I mean. When as soon as I get information, I'll be putting it out into the, public sphere through via this podcast, via my social media networks, because that's how we are. That is how we as the people are nowadays. We are the media. We are the journalists and the newscasters of modern day era because we cannot trust the ones that we already have. So, to that point, with people like me and other people in the social media sphere talking about these things, it's going to force the hand of the media to have to cover it because people are
Yes.
going to be asking questions. And that is something that I really do see coming down the turnpike, judging off of the recent trends that we've been seeing in the societal structure of people that we kind of talked about earlier, people starting to revert away from blindly following these narratives and the system itself.
I would like to I would like to believe you when you say that, but I'm not quite sure that is true.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I I ultimately would like to hope that that's what will happen.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I just don't know. I just don't know, Mikey.
No, yeah, that's kind of it's the game we play now, right? This is the game we're playing in our society now. Is anybody can make the most educated guess as to what they see coming or what they think is the most logical outcome to a situation.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, we're just rolling the dice and hoping that we land on snake eyes. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much all we're doing is we're like, this looks like it could go this way. Hopefully it does, but it all comes down to in the end, what is the actual result to it? And I do it, and I will admit that many times, conservatives and those of us that are just fighting for truth in this country, we've been let down a lot, an absolute lot, where we thought that something big was going to happen, and then it fizzles out, right? Like a sparkler on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
But I think the the combination, like I keep saying, the combination of running trends that we see going on with investigations, reporting looking a little bit different, governors, DeSantis, whoop, whoop, uh,
Hey,
governors that are
hold on
starting
a
to stand
second.
up
So
against.
speaking of DeSantis, somebody was
Yeah,
talking about him today, and that he like is connected to some company that Fauci is also connected to.
yeah. So I've been hearing people talk about how apparently, and I'm going to say allegedly, because I haven't been able to find any corroborating information. I need to get with people to figure this out more. Allegedly, people are saying that DeSantis possibly could co-own a warehouse with Fauci. Um,
Okay.
and I don't know if that's true. I don't know how valid that is. I think that seems like a jump to me, because I mean DeSantis is the man that made "Don't Fauci My Florida" merch, right?
Right.
So it just doesn't. I don't know. I have to look into it further.
Yeah, I just heard it today, which is kind of
Hmm.
the funny thing is because I hadn't heard anything about it before. But then again, it's like a Trump situation. They'll find anything to taint you if they
Right.
think you're about to do something. So to discredit him, I'm sure this is what is happening. But I just because you brought up his name, and I'm sorry, I didn't want to take you off track.
No, no, no. You're good. I mean, you know me. I can cover whatever topics get brought up.
Yeah, Mikey, what's your pronouns?
My pronouns are Trump won or Biden cheated. They are interchangeable, but just make sure that you respect them. I mean, they both mean the same thing, but just make sure that you respect them.
I had to say that just because I just saw like a little notification pop up on my phone. It's like trending, what are your pronouns? So sorry, I just thought I'd ask.
You're good. You're
Yeah,
good.
I mean, now that we've all become novels and we need
Right.
adjectives and pronouns to describe us, just saying.
Right.
Moving along, Mikey, moving along.
I'm not your sister, so don't call me sis.
Dude.
I got that from.
So listen. Okay, hold on. So I was in Arizona this weekend because my daughter turned 21. So she partied like, it was 1999. And
Right.
she spent the whole weekend with her friends in a house living their best life.
Hmm.
So I was fortunate enough to get lucky to dog sit and be stuck at her place with her little mutts. But I was talking to my father, and we were talking about these pronouns and adding the label. And I was talking to my mom, and my mom is so removed from reality. She's like, "What are you talking about? What is cis?" We were talking about maps. She's like, "What is maps?" And I'm like, "Mom, where have you been?" And she's like, "I don't watch the
Right.
news."
Right.
She goes, "I don't watch the news." So she goes, "This is all so new to me." So I was like, "Mom, I need to like expose you. Like you need to know like what's going on. You need to know what these things represent." And speaking of maps, Mikey, I'm gonna go downtown Seattle and look for that maps
Yeah, you're
flag.
gonna find that. You're gonna see if you can
Yeah, I'm gonna
find that
find it.
flag. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was kind of interesting to see like my father's a little more in touch because he's very connected politically, but my mom, to see how removed she was from the situation, and it's just like, "Mom, they put labels on us." So then I was
Right.
explaining to her how they were talking about uterus transplants, and she just starts laughing, and she's like, "Well, don't they realize it takes more than just the uterus?" And I said, "Go, apparently not, Mom. We're supposed to be threatened by this as biological women." And so it's just kind of funny. Like I'm gonna have my dad on eventually. Once he's feeling a little better, I'm gonna bring my dad on. He's an interesting soul, and he can school some of these ignorant people on all the other things that are going
Hey,
on.
I'm here for it.
Well, I mean, you heard it best. I think when we were on Craig's live, was it Craig? Was it Craig?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking about you were talking about the medical, like about being brown and getting different
Hmm.
medical treatment and things like that. And My dad, he'll let us know what the reality is of, the Jim Crow era and all of that. So,
Right.
I'm gonna bring him on and we're gonna have a little chit chat, school him
No,
up.
yeah, I think it's very pertinent to get those kind of perspectives from that era, especially when we have nowadays it's being propagated like it was like it was all encompassing, right? Which is we hear a lot of times from a lot of people that grew up in that era that it was prevalent, but it was not everybody, right? And I think that that's very pertinent for people to understand
Look
about
who's
then.
here. The great
Oh,
and powerful Oz.
uh, there he
Are
is.
you
There
gonna
he
join us?
is.
Are you gonna join us? Let's just bring him in. We don't even ask. Let's just bring him in. Look at this. Watch. Click. Ooh.
Up.
What's going
What's going on?
on?
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Everyone meet the great and powerful Oz. He's from behind the curtain now. What's up,
Yes,
Mac?
Oh, living a dream, living a dream.
This, you guys, everyone meet Dumpster Fire. This is a part of the collaboration of this amazing platform that we've been presented with. Say hi to the people. Don't be shy.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What are you bringing to this conversation since you're so rudely interrupting our combo?
Rudely interrupting. Wow.
Yeah, I think it was.
Right,
I think it was making sure that Mikey got back on track.
No. I was checking it out there for a little bit. I missed a lot of the beginning because I got caught up on some calls, but I heard Mikey dropping a little bit of intel about the or you brought up the question about Fauci and DeSantis.
Right.
What I'll tell you is I'm seeing it as that's propaganda to make people push against DeSantis right now. Look, I'm very familiar with Ron DeSantis, his policies. Anybody that lives in the South knows his policies and his standards. There aren't too many governors in this country that have a historical background like he does. Anybody who doesn't know Ron DeSantis' background should probably take a look at that and understand
Right.
the guy has seen everything from terrorism up close. He knows, what Gitmo looks like from the inside out. He's also worked in special operations communities overseas. He's worked with regular, military echelons, both in theater and out of theater. And he's also worked in other sections of government besides just being the governor. So I think there's a lot of things people need to start understanding and just realizing that Fauci disappeared. DeSantis has been getting major clout, and he's still here. And the other thing too is, who's really pissed off at him right now besides Fauci? Disney.
Yes.
Yep.
I read in the comments, it says that Patriot Fishing, he's a guest, I have the UCC document that has Fauci, Redfield, DeSantis on it. Can't find anything on the Paraganda Diamond LLC. Is that supposed to be the connection?
Yeah, that must
What
be
was
the
the name of the
connection.
company?
Paragon Diamond LLC.
Paragonda Diamond LLC. I think it's interesting that people kind of started saying that they had these implicating DeSantis being tied to Fauci very, very conveniently after he decides to target Disney publicly and remove their self-sovereignty status. I think that, I just think it smells very suspicious to me. It smells like what Mac was saying, that it reeks of propaganda or a possibility of propaganda.
Well, and here's the thing. I want to add to that because I don't want people to imply that I'm saying Disney's a part of that. I'm just saying there's a lot going on right now facing DeSantis. And there's also a large movement right now, people wanting to support DeSantis to try and go into office in a higher level. So do I think that it's anything related to Disney? No, but there's another drop on the news today too about a lot of people, and it's mainly certain agencies and media platforms. There's a new variant of coronavirus coming out.
I saw that.
Really? Are we not over this shit yet?
Did you also see how they're talking about that the hospitalizations are going up again? So
But they
there's
don't want to tell you that a lot of those hospitalizations going up are from fentanyl overdoses of people who fucking die. I mean,
Right.
it goes back to like the early 2020 syndrome. You know, it's chalk everything up as a coronavirus death, even though the guy died on a motorcycle by getting his head cut off by hitting a fucking semi truck at 55 miles an hour. Okay, so he died of coronavirus. Yeah. You know,
Right.
it's the hospital logs are inflated. Let's just be honest. I'll be the first person to say it. Hospitals are getting paid out the ass. Out the ass.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, the number is something like $84,000 for every patient that's documented as dying of coronavirus. That's what the hospital gets paid. So the patient's family gets $6,000, but the hospital gets $84,000. I'm telling you right now, if I had to open up a new business, I'm opening up a hospital. I'm going to hire some crooked doctors, and everybody's got coronavirus, yo. Everybody.
That's how we're
And
doing it now.
Then I'm seeking sovereignty status.
Well, my question is, why are we going back there again? Like, that's my question. So why are we going back to COVID? Why are we going back to rising cases?
Well, think about it. Did it work?
Yeah, but I think we're past that now.
No, I disagree. I disagree. I think the masses are still for the whole coronavirus bullshit versus the not masses being against it. I don't think we've switched that tide enough to get enough people understanding to question the falsities of what it is. You even got all those new research documents coming out about how it's king cobra venom. It all ties back to the crown, the cranial. It's not bat related. Let's not forget.
Yeah, don't get me started on Watch the Water, man.
I mean, you go to a zoo. It started about a month ago. You go to the zoos. The bird flu is a big thing now again because they've tucked all the birds away just at zoos alone. That's going to create issues in the supply and demand channel for poultry.
Wait, did you see? I just saw today they were talking about that COVID has risen in China, which is impacting supply and demand.
Well, the Chinese ports have been shut down and run off for the past couple of weeks because they don't want shit to go in or come out.
Yeah, but they were just talking about COVID. It was COVID related. I just saw that today.
If that's what you want it to be, then yeah, I guess it can be COVID related.
Right. No, yeah, if that's what they want to call it, exactly.
I mean, you got to remember too, China's not a beast like America. In the essence of it's a different beast in general. The government there owns control of just about every major company. Any company that you buy something from in America has Chinese government control. So think about it like that. Let's say you have a business here in America, Disney's part owned by the US government and part owned by the Defense Department. Imagine that, because that's what it is in China. So it's you don't get anything completed unless the Chinese government says you can complete it. So when they shut down a port, it's shut down. If they want you to get vaccinated, you're getting vaccinated, and if they want you to disappear, you're disappearing. I mean, there's a lot of people out there broadcasting about everybody's seeing what's happening in Ukraine and everywhere else. There's turmoils and issues, but still nobody's talking about China, the biggest slay on human rights and how long? And no one wants to talk about it. Why? Because we're so reliant on them globally for anything that we need to get from them.
Right. Well, no, we have to focus on Russia right now.
I think there should be focuses on Russia.
Right. No, yeah, to an extent. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. But
look, I think there's
I think.
Was that?
My bad. I was
go ahead.
I think our country has a bad problem with when we see one problem someplace, we decide to drop focus on all of the other issues that we were already focusing on prior to.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of like our biggest detriment. Like Russia pops up with this situation and everybody's like, oh, forget about China. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Maybe we should focus on both. Just a thought.
I agree. Hey, I'll be right back, guys. I got to jump off for 1 second and I'll be right back.
Okay. Get away. Look, go away.
You're going to say deuce.
Get out of here.
Oh my God.
You know, it's so great. You know, when you have the power of the button, you can just press the button and be like, get out of here, go
Right.
away, come
That's
back
like, yeah,
another day. You know,
that's that
we should have
line.
invited somebody in, Mikey. We should have had a special guest, you know, to fund this thing somehow. Look, we should have had a special guest, Mikey. We should have said that somebody from the chat, we should have been like, who wants to join us? We need to bring somebody in and they can come and talk to us and say hi. You know what I'm saying? Mikey, you sent me 2 articles. What was the second one? Hunter's
Yeah,
law
the
firm.
second
Oh, the
one.
law firm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So Biden has a recent action that he is doing that is going to bode very, very monetarily beneficial to a law firm that was directly tied to Hunter Biden because he was employed with them.
Yes.
Now,
Of counsel,
why?
right?
Right. Why do we have a known crack addict and a person who has no knowledge in law at all was kicked out of law school and military on a on a legal team? It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. And then you have action by Biden. It's like, oh yeah, I want to do this, but just to let you guys know, if this passes, they're good. This law firm gets billions of dollars.
Dollars. Right. It was from the Afghanistan, right? Funding?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah, it was
the
from
bank,
it was from
right?
it's for 9/11
Yes,
family
yes, yes, yes.
victims. It's victims
Yes.
of 9/11. Their
Right.
families.
And the attorneys at that firm represent them.
Yep.
Interesting, isn't it? Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I was reading that and I was thinking about it. You know, I sometimes like I feel like we should just change our names to like the last names of like powerful people. I mean, what do you think? I mean,
No,
like we can like legally change our names and then like we can just affiliate and associate ourselves with like powerful people.
no. I'm good. I'm good on having my last name be something like Rothschild or Rockefeller or DuPont.
You
I
sure?
think I'll leave those for the big boys. I'm
Are,
good on that.
are you positive? Are you positive, Mikey? Because you know we can make that happen.
100% positive.
We can make that happen. We could just fill out a form and publish it in a newspaper, and you can change your name. I mean, I'm just saying because it seems to me that if you're connected to, I don't know, anyone that has any power or money, it just works.
Right.
You know, you get to do whatever you want, but that's okay because all the people are leaving Twitter.
Well, you better learn how to change your bank account to reflect the last name as well, because that's the big thing that makes the difference.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Like I said,
I don't know.
I said earlier.
I don't know, Mikey. I've watched enough documentaries of like Ponzi schemes that I'm sure we could probably pull it off.
No, like I said, with the situation with the DuPont heir, I assure you the last name did not have as much prevalence to why he got the lenient sentence or the great family structure as did the $14.3 billion net worth.
I know, but you know what? Adobe PDF can make anything you want. No?
This is not financial advice. Please do not. No, just kidding.
I'm just saying, you know, I mean, you can I could just say I'm wealthy. Right. So I'll just say I'm wealthy. I'll just say I have money. And then if anyone asks,
there it is. Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, Rothschild III.
The third.
Oh my gosh.
Who invited you back, Mr. Rothschild III? Who invited you back? My dog might start barking, so
Look,
I don't know. It's either the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, the Rothschilds, or the third.
Lay down. Sorry, my dog. I don't want to.
Crazy conservatives that are like way too radical. That are like, oh my gosh, do you see the name of one of their co-hosts. They're clearly just controlled opposition.
Right. Well, I mean, it's like I said, look how easy it was. He just changed
You
his
know what?
name.
I'm going to put a report tab on our website. That way those people can report their shit to me, so I have something to laugh about.
Okay.
Perfect. There you go.
I mean, just make sure I want to see your bank account statements to make sure that they're reflective of that name.
Dude, have you ever heard of the Marshall Islands?
Yeah, right.
You just have an ID to get a bank account there. Yeah, they're B rated or below, but who cares?
Right.
Oh, so we could just drop it in, right?
Yeah, you can just be like, hey, look, my name is Frank Dickschwitz, and I need a bank account. Cool.
And that's all you need, huh?
Mr. Dickschwitz, what's your pronouns?
Go later.
Right. Isn't the Marshall Islands, weren't they implicated in like Panama Papers and things of that nature, with how there was a lot of sketchy dealings with banking system with political figures around the world?
Well, I think it goes back to one thing. You know, if you're not part of the International Monetary Fund or the central banking system, then your bank's not going to have the higher rating. I mean, there's no such thing as a privately operated, not within the central banking system or the International Monetary Fund bank that's A rated. So I mean, it's literally it's all about control factors. We control the system. You don't want to comply. You want to try and do things outside of the rope. Okay, well, we're not going to see it that way. Think like this too. The U.S. won't allow medical marijuana and marijuana companies to submit their money to a regular, Chase Bank or any of that kind of stuff. They're not allowed to because it's, not legal in most places. However, every other country, you can be a cartel. The banks love you in Mexico. You go down to South America. Hey, what are you depositing today? Oh, like $2 billion. What is it from? Oh, never mind. We already know. Have a good day.
Yeah.
It's like, but those banks don't care about being part of it.
No, but I think that only applies to us somewhat not so wealthy people.
Well, I mean, because wealthy people.
If I went to the bank with a bunch of dollar bills, that probably, they like to say, what do you do to make your money? And it's pretty obvious. I have dollar bills. Like, why are you asking?
Well, here's the thing, too. A lot of people don't know this. You go to a bank and you go into a bank the same way everybody else does. We all do. You get a debit card, you have, a branch manager, you have customer representatives and consumer bankers. That's what 99.99999% of Americans and other people in other countries deal with. But what they don't realize is once you hit certain levels, your banking structure changes. You go into corporate banking. You go into specialty personal management banking. You never go to the bank. Right. There's points in times where you literally say, hey, look, I want to go to the strip club. I want 2001s. Somebody from the bank will bring you $2,000 in a bank bag of ones, or they'll meet you at the strip club because you don't ever go to the bank anymore. You need a wire transfer done, you call your fiduciary. The fiduciary will take care of everything for you. You don't do anything anymore. And when you make deposits, you're not making the deposit. Somebody else making the deposit for you. So your liability is now changed too. So is
that how it works?
Think about it. That's the way the system's set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's why we're just talking about. Oh, you know what? Hold on, really a second, Mike. Mac, remember I was talking earlier about the Ukraine situation, about them keeping giving them all the good stuff, and when they should have gave them, the used stuff.
Well, yeah, what they're buying and what we're getting, yeah. Yeah, I mean what they're buying currently on the global stage, and then what they're getting. You talking about what we talking on the phone?
Yeah.
So, are you want me to explain my theory?
Yes, please.
So I put this out to governors, and here's my whole theory. Ukraine is getting money, and a lot of people in America don't understand how this whole monetary system works. Just because there was $13.6 billion allocated to the Ukrainian government for, weapons or whatever it may be, doesn't mean we're giving that money to them free and clear. It means that money is allocated to support the endeavors of Ukraine. In all reality, that it comes down to what, Congress and the House, the Senate decide to do with that money through Department of State or whatever echelon. In all reality, Nancy Pelosi could open up a winery and just call it Pelosi's fucking Ukraine, and they could say, hey, it helps Ukraine. They could do that. But instead of taking all that money and buying brand new shit and selling it to the Ukrainians, giving it to them, why not take all the refurbished old shit that the National Guards are using in every single state, sell it to them at higher prices, and then buy all brand new stuff that we would be sending to Ukraine and give it to America's National Guard? Just saying.
You're just saying.
I mean, that you're speaking too much logic for that to possibly be there. Yeah, that's way too logistical. Like, that's way too sound for them to do something like that.
It was just a thought. Just a thought. I like to throw thoughts out there. You know, it's like pickles. You throw them on the fucking wall. Hopefully something will grab, but it never happens.
I'm sorry,
hopefully it sticks, but it never does.
Yeah, Mikey, what were you going to say before I so rudely interrupted you?
No, you're good. I kind of lost my train of thought. What we were talking.
Is that possible for you?
About. But yeah, with what? Yes, it is with ADD or ADHD. Yeah, very much. My brain gets squirreled pretty easily. But yeah, with what we're talking about, when you had asked, like, is that up? Yeah, it's only set up that way for when you get to the common folk way of banking. You have other entities that are doing those things for you, such as deposits, withdrawals, transactions, things of that nature. It's not common that you see middle class folk using wire transfers to the extent that what we see with upper echelon. I guess people can consider digital banking to be a form of wire transfers nowadays, but it's still not to the same scope of what we see with like those people that kind of separate themselves from having to physically go to the bank. They aren't physically going anymore. It's different entities going for them to take their and make sure that they can, they have as many safety measures effectively that protect them.
Wow. I don't have enough money for it to matter, so.
Hey, change your last name. You might.
I know. Honorable
Duke of Worship the 8th.
Really? I'm going to take away your privileges. Look, I'm going to take away your privileges so you are not allowed to type and change it. If you change my name, Mac, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you right now, because I see you thinking in your little mind. It's so big we can't even read it.
Knighted by the Queen.
Okay. Lay down. Stop. Sorry, my dog is wigging out because the neighbor's home.
Yeah, I need to know the other 7 honorable dukes of Worcestershire sauce came prior to you.
Do you have pictures?
They're supposed to say knighted by the Queen of Arby's.
Wait, look. Do you have
The
pictures
Queen
of it? So we can see the Queen of Arby's. Had to order food. Hope you didn't miss much, sweetheart. We see you, Gloria. But yeah, so it's like, now that we're kind of winding it down, we're coming up on our peak of the hour.
Right.
What would you like
We're
to say?
winding this down already? We haven't even gotten started.
Oh, what you want to start it on?
I don't know. What were we talking about on the phone earlier? The nuclear family, the family unit. You said you were all hyped to talk about that.
Dude,
No, yeah,
we started talking about it. I covered it when I first started in my useless facts.
She
So
did
I
the
talked
useless
about
facts. We did not cover the new.
I started talking about it, so I brought it up, and I was saying that the search engines for the fluffy guys with little penises, the white women with the Queen of Spades tattooed on their bodies, so that the black men know they date black men, the swingers. What was our third thing? The men watching their wives get banged. Yes,
We're going to be the only news outlet that talks about cucks.
Yeah, the cucks. Yes.
We're going mainstream with that.
We're not going.
Watch out, Tucker Carlson. Here we come.
Go ahead, Mikey.
But no, I do think that those are, I mean, I think it's really reflective as to what we see in our society right now when it comes to the Western nuclear family and just how much it is completely under attack at all different angles, whether it be through the media, whether it be through, you know, the constant hypersexualization through pornography. I mean, it is an all-encompassing attack. Look at the education system. They're trying to attack the Western nuclear family, what they're trying to indoctrinate students with. I mean, it's crucial right now because that's the most pertinent thing for a society to thrive is to have that.
Well, because
that
they've
structure.
changed the narrative of what it looks like, right?
Right.
So, you know, to reproduce, it takes certain things, and they want to change that narrative and make it look different, right?
Right.
And then they
Right.
want to break up that family unity so that it's like, you know, you don't need this. You can do whatever you want. You can wander. You can just, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think commitment has changed a lot too, right?
Yes.
So, you know, now it's no one commits to anything.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, because I think that that's also very reflective as to, you know, the other things that we were talking about earlier when it comes to like politics and things. People became very, very lazy, just very lazy, plain and simple. And with that laziness comes you can't commit because you're lazy. You can't commit to anything serious. So
Why
at
do we
that
have
same
feedback?
point, what's up?
We have feedback. It has to be Matt because it didn't happen until he came in.
Matt? Are we good?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think we're good now.
But yeah, so you know, it shows that people became very lazy. They became very complacent and very focused on instant gratification rather than doing the hard work or putting in the commitment to be able to have something in the long run that is truly worth it, not just something that is satisfying
In the
carnal
moment.
desires or fleshly needs.
Right. Well, and I think it's like even for you at your age, like you're learning now, like, you know, I need to do things different. I need to not just run around like a little man whore and
Right.
you know,
Right. No, yeah.
save your body.
Yeah.
I mean, that
So
doesn't happen often at 22.
Mikey, what
I
she's
know, no,
saying
it
is
definitely, and it's not easy. I'll tell you that it's not easy to stick with it. But it is something that I've seen a very high influx in things like my mental capacity, my logical thinking, being able to focus on the true basis of what's going on in society so I can see the world for what it is because I'm not clouded. I haven't clouded my judgment with half of my brain being focused on twerking videos on social media and hypersexualization. I mean, because that's really the biggest issue. It's like, what better way to willingly sedate a society than to just keep them completely enamored by sex, which everybody will not disagree. Like, I don't think anybody doesn't like sex, but it's just, you know, it's one of those things where it's a constant loop back to bread and circuses by Nero. You know, they're giving the people bread and circus. They cannot witness the empire falling around them.
Mm-hmm.
We hear you, Mac. Just speak.
So Gloria said, "Hey, you said no censorship. What did you guys censor?"
I didn't say anything.
We didn't censor anything.
Yeah, there's no censorship.
We censored
no.
you.
Did we create censorship?
No, we didn't censor anything.
I mean, we didn't vote on that. We never passed a bill for censorship.
Wait, was I not in that meeting? I didn't get a memo that said we are now censoring. So
Wait,
Gloria,
did the bill pass at 3:00 in the morning while we were all sleeping and was voted on against our own pretenses? Because that could be the case.
I mean,
I don't care what bill passes. I'm still running this shit the way we're running
it. Wait. What the actual fuck, Mac? Maybe that's better.
Right, there you go.
There you go. Now there's no censorship. You know, I've been really working on like the F-bombs.
Don't be a cuckold.
What was that?
I'm just saying.
He
What
said,
was
"Don't
that?
be a
Wait, what?
Say it again. Say it again. Don't be a what?
Cuckold.
A dick.
He sped it up that time. He said it very.
A dick. He's basically saying, don't be a dick.
See comments above. It blanked out my horror comment. Oh,
Uh-oh.
yeah, we got to work on the chat thing. It does that every now and then. But Gloria, I promise to you, we'll work on the chat. So the next time you say horror, it just goes next to your name and everybody sees that you made that comment. But it will not be censored. And
Yeah.
just since it did censor you,
We
we'll all
didn't
take 1
censor
minute.
you.
We'll all take 1 minute to say whore each. Whore.
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 There you go. Look at that.
Oh,
And Gloria,
might have
you know
been-
what? We'd like
she-
to extend you an opportunity. If you'd like to come on live with us and say whore, you're more than welcome to.
We're sending you an invite to come say whore. Probably
you want.
because I called Mikey a whore. I was saying that he's not running around being a whore, so she must have been commenting to that, to those effects
Yes.
of it.
Yep.
So yeah. Anyways. Well, we're at our hour mark, Mac. What would you like to talk about? Because this is when we generally wind it down and not keep the people here forever.
I mean, you're not keeping them here, right? They can disconnect anytime. I'm just saying.
No, we have them hostage.
I would like to believe I'm keeping them here, that I've handcuffed them and they are here and they cannot leave.
I don't know about that.
No?
No, most of them can just go, oh, wait a minute. Seinfeld's on?
Oh, well, okay. Well, I would like for them not to do that. So thank you for busting my bubble. So this is our hour to, so I guess what I'll do is I will do like a plug. I should do like a commercial right now for Dumpster Fire.
Yeah.
And they can go to the website, right? And
Yep.
we can buy merch. And I'm assuming that my Dumpster Fire merch is coming, correct?
Yeah, it's should be due, I think, in 2 days.
Okay. I don't recall getting a tracking number. Go ahead, Mikey.
Hey, reach out to me and let me know who you had that made that intro, because I would like to try to get one as well.
The Great and Powerful Oz did.
Oh, the Oz! Oh,
The Great and Powerful Oz.
Yep.
So yes, so Dumpster Fire. We want you guys to get merch. I think it's in the bottom of this chat live. And we also want you guys to fill out the information if you guys want to talk to us, ask us questions, give us topics to talk about. That's all below you in
yes.
that.
Yeah, there's
What else is
there's a send us a message at the bottom there. So anything you guys think we should talk about through the course of any episode, send it to us. We'll get it out to everybody. If you ever think that you want to be a part of the show or jump on as a guest at some point in time and speak your mind about something, or challenge Mikey, because he's pretty easy to challenge. But definitely jump in here. I've set that bar low enough now to where anybody can jump up. We definitely want this to be interactive. We want everybody to feel like they have a home here, and they have a place to be able to speak what they want to say. I'm not going to say safe space, but we want to make sure people know that, look, you can speak your mind, speak your opinion, and we look for healthy debates. So even if you disagree with something that maybe I like or I believe in, or Inked, which we all know that she disagrees with everybody on everything.
they can't challenge me.
Just send us a message and we'll bring you in and shoot you an opportunity.
It's my space.
Yeah, don't. Hey, I'm gonna say it right now. I'm gonna let it be known. Don't come in here trying to debate me if you're not ready to leave with your tail tucked between your legs. All right, I'm gonna let
Mikey.
you know right
Get
now.
him.
I don't pull punches, and I do not run from objective reality. So if you come in trying to bring your subjective opinion to mold and shape my objective reality, I'm gonna smack you down with facts so hard you're gonna drop out the box and wish you never came in. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
So it says that Mikey needs a better camera.
I would have to agree with that.
I know Mikey needs a better camera.
Or he can just wipe the lens off. It looks like he just needs to clean the lens.
Dude, no, I've been like, it's not the case.
You know, the Greeks clean everything with Lysol. Everything. I'm not kidding you. Ask anyone that's Greek, they're going to tell you, yes, we use Lysol and everything. Bug bites,
Really?
Lysol.
Yeah. So basically, we just need to get Mikey a better camera. Oh, and they want the chat to cast in here. We're working on that, Brian.
Yeah, that's something we're working on.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Well, Matt, can you do us a favor? Can you
What's
sing
up?
us a song and take us out?
Sing us a song. I'm not singing a song.
Can you sing
I
us
thought you
a
sang.
song?
You don't sing, Mac? I thought you sang.
No.
Come
My wife
on,
can tell you it's
Mac.
horrible.
No,
But
your
I
wife
will.
told me that you sang.
I will run an exit with something that may hype people up to come back the next time.
Okay.
So,
There we go.
anyways, thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thank you
And,
guys for coming.
Hank, Mikey, thanks for killing it, guys. And
We'll see you later.
here we go.
All right.